This ship is a work in progress, all stats are subject to change, what you see now might not be the final product. Wow, Asashio is either making IJN destroyers great again, or it's the end of the game as we know it, depending on who you talk to. It's been a long time since a ship has caused this much stir. Who am I kidding? We need one of those signs that says X days without a controversy. At any rate, Asashio is a work in progress. Plain and simple. We tested it with normal torps, and now we're testing it with deepwater torps. For those of you who aren't too familiar with the ship, it boasts both torpedo reload boost and smoke. This is the ship's gimmick, special function, main draw, or whatever you want to call it. Most destroyers don't have the ability to carry both. This one does. As for the deepwaters, 20-kilometer range at 67 knots. This reminds me of the old school shimmy level goodness. Slap on torp acceleration and you've got 16-kilometer torps that fly 71 knots. 4 seconds of reaction time with damaging torps? Yes, please. Yeah, be afraid. Be very afraid. But there's the catch. These torps only do damage against battleships and CVs. Cruisers are immune, as are destroyers. We know CVs pop their heads out of their holes approximately once every 10 rounds, so you're limited in what you can do damage-wise. On top of that, your guns aren't that great, though they can do some damage in a pinch. So what's the fuss with the Asashio? Mainly it's the torps, and what some people think will mark a monumental shift in DD playstyle. Players that don't like the ship feel that it promotes a selfish form of gameplay, that somehow players are going to become lone wolves and forget about their teams all of a sudden. Proponents of the current Asashio iteration find the ship to be fun to play, highly devastating, and finally an IJN DD that gets some love. All players admit she's powerful. This whole argument has really kind of intrigued me. Why? One reason is because the factions are so well divided about this ship, and because I personally see both sides of the issue. Though I disagree with the opponents of the ship and the current build just a little more than the proponents. So what do I disagree with? Why do I keep starting on my sentences with questions? I don't know. The whole theory that players are going to play selfishly solely because of this ship is poppycock. Pure malarkey. The ship has 5.4 kilometer concealment and is completely capable of aggressive scouting and capping. Of course, if you're caught by an enemy destroyer unawares, you might be in for a little trouble, you might have to run. But 20 kilometer torps? Players are going to play for themselves and not for the team. So here's the gospel about that. Players that like to cap and scout are still going to cap and scout with this ship. Again, 5.4 kilometer concealment. That's pretty darn good. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. There are few DDs that will outspot you. Here's the real truth. Players that play selfishly are still going to play selfishly. Most DDs have sub 12 kilometer torp range, and you still see players riding the boundaries, not capping, trying to take out carriers. This ship is not going to alter the majority of the players' playstyles. It might exacerbate some of the bad habits some players have, but life finds a way. However, I do disagree with some aspects of this ship. It is fun, no doubt. It's not the range or the torp speed that concerns me, it's the damage output, which is pretty darn high when factored in with the torp speed and range. Maybe decrease damage by about 5,000 hit points and start with a 16 kilometer max range. It might balance things out a tad. I don't know. Is this ship overpowered? Nah, no way. In the hands of someone good, they're gonna do really good things with this ship. But this ship is limited by both matchmaking and the amount of battleships and carriers that are around. If there's few, it's not gonna perform that well. Again, you can't hit cruisers with your torps, and your guns are weak. If you could hit cruisers, yes, absolutely, this ship would be overpowered on account of its smoke and torp reload boost. In its current state, it's matchmaking dependent, high risk, high reward. So what is the solution? I think right now the solution is to sit back, relax, and wait. Again, this is just the testing phase, and it might be that the deep waters are just one of many testing iterations designed to elicit feedback and response. A novel idea, I know. That's an idea I'd like to see a lot more. In the meantime, I'll continue to have a blast throwing up walls of skill until they take it away. It's the closest thing I've got to the old Shimikaze. I am out!